So now we're exploring the part of the Great Sea that's just above the bottom horizontal line of it. Which basically includes the boating course and a couple other areas. I really don't see the point of these rafts. What is the point of Ganon stranding his minions on these rafts, not doing anything? Like, is he just hoping that Link will run into them? Oh yeah, Link's totally going to die to a weak pink bokoblin that he saw at the beginning of the game. One that he still can't one-shot with the Master Sword, by the way. In A Link to the Past, and every other 2D Zelda game, there are plenty of enemies that you could one-shot easily at the end of the game, because it was a good measure of how you've gotten stronger. You don't have that with the 3D games, because they want to make combat epic, and so they make it padded out. There's no enemy in this game that you can quickly one-shot other than, like, Keys. That's the only example I could think of. Like, even the P-hats require 2 hits to kill. I've heard that with the rich girl who becomes poor, if you go here at night, she's working here. Apparently that's the faraway island. But how are you supposed to know that? She should have just said the boating course. And how the hell would she go all the way here from Windfall Island every night anyways? Like, does she have a teleporter on hand? And if so, she should have just been able to, like, couldn't she just sell it to get rich again? And come to think of it, how did Tingle go from Windfall Island to Tingle Island? And how did he get there in the first place if he didn't have a ship? Did he use a Tingle balloon to fly back home? And if he could go to that tunnel to hide the camera, why didn't he find the rats and escape from prison? It's really dickish and cheap expecting you to hit these switches and leave yourself vulnerable in the process while you're also fighting mini-blins. One good thing about the boomerang is that in Ocarina of Time, you could only target one thing. I don't know why they thought that was a good idea. This game properly takes advantage of the fact that it's a 3D game by allowing you to target multiple things at once with the boomerang. This guy, he tells you the rules, then he pulls a Kaepora Gaebora on you. I accidentally told him to tell me the rules again. So that was annoying. It's a good thing that you can mash A and B to make the text go by faster. But I really like this minigame. I wish that every sailing trek in the game was like this. I think a lot more people would have found the sailing not boring if every time they sailed to a new island, they basically went through a challenge like this where, like, there were always rupee barrels in the way, and sometimes, like, the vertical ones, if you sail into them, you'll get knocked out of your boat, and there'll be a long stun animation, and you'll have to go all the way back to your boat and swim back into it. Like, I believe in the HD version of the game, if you get hit in a boat, you won't get knocked out of it, but it's really annoying fighting, like, enemies in the water, because in the original version of the game, you would always get knocked out of it, so fighting sea hats was really annoying. But in the HD version, it doesn't really matter. Like if you run into a barrel in the boat, I'm pretty sure you just get knocked out of it just as bad. Like, these exploding barrels, I'm pretty sure they knock you out of it no matter what. My point is, I really like this challenge. Like, this is really fun. I think the boat controls well for allowing you to make it so that you're sailing directly into these things, and I never feel like I'm very pressured to get all of them. It helps that I can see where they're coming from far away, so I have plenty of time to turn around and make it so that the boat is lined up with them. I think if you were sailing to an island, you should always be doing this. Like, you should always have, like, enemies to fight and stuff, because there's not enough to do when you're sailing, so it's just boring. But yeah, this is a fun way to get rupees. But again, the game throws so much money at you, and I could have sworn that this was a way to get a heart piece, but apparently not. I played this, beating my record to get a heart piece, but apparently that was a waste of time. By the way, I'm at the boating course at night now, and Mila's nowhere to be seen, so I don't know what people are saying when they say that she's here. I don't know, maybe Mila is just using the whole working on a faraway island thing as a metaphor for her doing something else. What do poor girls normally do to get money? Oh, another skill platform again. Good thing I cut a lot of this out. So, in the Earth Temple, there's a lot of it that you can skip. Like, you can run up the next song statue because you have storage glitch activated. Use the deku leaf and get out of bounds to skip it. But don't run too high up the wall or you'll get crushed by the ceiling. Never really thought you could get crushed without like getting crushed by blocks, but there you go. The really cool thing about the Earth Temple is that you can completely skip getting the boss key. So that mirror puzzle, you can actually skip it. Basically what you do is you activate storage glitch with diving with the Wind Waker and just run up to the inner walls in front of the big key door and you can just fly out of bounds using the deku leaf into the boss room. Speedrunners do this to skip the mirror puzzle entirely. The mirror shield and power bracelets are used for this boss, so it's not like speedrunners can actually skip them. The annoying thing about that boss is he's called Jalhalla, by the way, is that you can only kill a maximum of 5 of the pose making out the boss in each cycle. Like, I don't know, I don't really like how scripted bosses can be sometimes. I think they should reward skill. It's easy to forget that Link has the power bracelets on his person. Like if you look closely at his wrists, he actually does have the power bracelets on his model. It's just hard to see because the power bracelets are golden colored, and so they blend in with his skin. It's not like with the gauntlets, where they look like completely different colors. Basically, this is implying that they ate most of the pigs that you gave her. And there's just this one pig, and it grew gigantic. When I was little, I used to wonder if that pig was giant because it ate all of the other pigs. But turns out, no, it just grew gigantic for no real reason. This is by far the best way to deal with this. You might think that it'll backfire on you, but really if you just climb a ledge, then he'll cool down almost immediately after you climb that ledge, because like he'll be running into the wall, and then he'll calm down really quickly. So you can just do that, and then you can just make him like dig up what you want. But I gotta tell you, putting a dig spot here is very dickish. There's no reason at all that they had to put a dig spot there. I mean, really? See? It's no big deal at all. How is Link even picking up this thing without breaking his back? I mean, I know that the power bracelets reinforce his wrists, but it's not like they help his back. And here's why this is such a troll moment. It's shaped like a heart. You'd think that it would give you a heart piece, right? But no! Thanks for the 20 rupees game. It's not like I could have found silver rupees from any old treasure chart. Hey, look! It's another heart-shaped dig spot. Huh. I wonder if this will give me the heart piece. Really, game? And why were these things hiding underground anyways? They're Ganon's minions, aren't they ordered to be annoying? Can't they just... Why don't they just leave the ground without needing to be dug up? These things are just a nuisance. But no, it turns out that you have to make him dig here. Thankfully the game does tell you that you can do this. Like, I think one of the kids tells you about it. But yeah, this is such a dickish moment. Why do they have to put multiple dig spots here? Basically, he's up all night because he's scared because there are monsters everywhere. Apparently, he's the only one who notices that there's monsters at night to the point where he can't sleep because of it. Like, the woman with the jar over her head knows that there's monsters at night, but she's able to sleep just fine. But yeah, this is a pretty important item in the original version of the game because you need it to get the deluxe picto box, which allows you to take pictures that Karlov will actually recognize as pictures and make a sculpture out of. If you don't care about that, then it's just for the sake of making your photographs aesthetically pleasing. I did find it very intuitive when I was a kid that you could talk to him that way. Like, why do you have to be standing on that specific leaf? Why can't you just face him? Anyways, you can actually skip the Wind Temple rival cutscene with the double storage glitch and super swimming to the Wind Temple. You'll get there without seeing the cutscene, and the boat is there. Like, using the Wind Waker will get you out of camera lock at any time. So it's not like you're literally trapped in camera lock with the camera in front of Link's face. Like, at any time you want, you can just use the Wind Waker to get out of it. This right here makes it completely unnecessary to unlock it for the potion shop. Cause like, you can just get them whenever you want. Activate storage glitch with the first chest you create in the Wind Temple with Macro, and the iron boots requiring spring near it. A constant creaking sound will play again, and you'll be able to use a shrunken hitbox of Link to run up a tree that Macro made to fly to the spring, and use the spring to reach the door. And the weird thing is that with that shrunken hitbox from opening the chest, you walk almost inside of spring, so it's not like you can climb up to it. So that's kind of inconvenient. Like, another thing is that Link can't actually climb up ladders like that. Like, walking up walls, no problem. Ladders? Nope. Like, it's amazing he can even use items like that, considering, like, if he can't climb ladders because he wasn't programmed to be able to do that, well, I guess it's more of a hitbox thing. In the Macro gets kidnapped room, you have to get Macro kidnapped. And if you know enough glitches, Macro will not actually be mandatory to rescue from now on. Go to the next room, and now that you have storage active, wedge yourself in the door frame of the door you went through. Don't go too high up in the door frame so you won't get crushed. Turn the camera to face forwards and back walk out of bounds, and use the decollete to fly left to enter the loading zone of the hookshot room. You should probably kill the summoner Wizrobe first, and the regular battle music will actually start playing because he's the actual mini-boss and the rest of them are just enemies. So then you just get the hookshot and leave the room. But yeah, that's how you unlock the Nintendo Gallery. Well, maybe you were losing members because you closed the way to the Nintendo Gallery and made it impossible for most people to get here. Ever thought of that? And maybe he was losing members because you have to go through such a tedious process to unlock new sculptures. Like, why can't you just... Like, you can't keep things simple, really? Like, Minish Capman is so much easier to get new trophies. I like the concept of the trophies where, like, they add to the lore because you can read the descriptions of all the different things in the game. So I like that. Like the trophies are the only way you'll find out that the white Tingle is actually not Tingle's brother at all. He's just some guy who washed up on shore in Tingle Island, and Tingle forced him to wear that stupid costume. So I like that it adds to the lore, but I think they handled it much better in Minish Cap, where you just collected a whole bunch of shells, which are really easy to get, and sure, it was really annoying that you could only get one trophy at a time. Like, why can't I just get the maximum amount of trophies that I can possibly get with the amount of shells that I have? Why can't I just get a whole bunch of them at once? So that was really tedious, but other than that, I think they did it much better. It's really annoying that you're forced to go through here again if you want to complete the Forest Water side quest. Like, it takes so long to get through this place, and it just eats up so much of your time. You only have 20 minutes in real life to complete that side quest, and depending on how much I have to say at that point, I'm going to devote an entire unedited extra part just to showing off the forest water side quest and how tedious it is. So that means I'm, for the first time, not going to cut any of the sailing out. Well, I showed it off in its entirety once, but still. I think this is the first time in quite a while, if not the first time, that you've ever been forced to use a fire arrows on something, wood that's really far away from you, so that you can, like, deck your leaf up to it. So I guess it can be unintuitive. I don't know. But see, that tree there, you're gonna have to go through that entire cave all over again just to get to it. So I guess I recommend, like, doing it in one go,